What's this? Buttermilk chicken.
Well, hi there, food friends.
Well, hi there.
Hi, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Ralph. I'm a food friend, right?
You sure are. And welcome to Cavalcade of Food. And you have it right, Ralph. We are going to make buttermilk chicken.
And I like how you used a yellow chalk for that.
Yeah. So kind of buttermilk-ish. Now, this is not a dish to make if you're in a hurry, because our chicken needs to marinate in the buttermilk overnight.
We should also stress that this is roasted chicken, not buttermilk fried chicken, which is also a thing.
Buttermilk as a means of marinating is wonderful, particularly with chicken, because it does two things. It adds moisture, and it adds moisture and flavor, and
acidity?
The acid in the buttermilk helps to tenderize the chicken. So it's great, but it can't do that in 2 minutes. So we're going to create a marinade. I'll also say we're doing 2 chickens.
Normally you would just do one.
Normally you just do one.
But we've got a lot of
people to feed.
Right, so 2 is what we're doing.
And I'm going to put the recipe, will be down below. In the description is the recipe for 1 chicken, okay? So I'm doubling this, but you can play along here and you'll get the idea. So we have 2 whole chickens here, and that's how we're going to end up cooking them whole roasted chicken. But before we do, we're going to give them a little spa treatment.
A little love.
Okay, a little love. So Ralph, we're going to start with some salt. So I've got some coarse salt here, and we're going to do 1 chicken at a time. And basically what we want to do is we're going to put some salt on the inside of this chicken and all over the outside, okay? And you can be generous with the salt. And we're going to do the same thing with the pepper. I've got some nice coarse pepper here. Yeah, you'll make a mess, okay? But pat that on. You want pepper on the inside, okay, as well as on the outside.
And the bottom.
And the bottom. So we're going to flip this over, and let's put a little salt on the bottom here, and a little pepper on the bottom, okay? And then we're going to put it in its bag.
But you need 4 hands for this one. Don't you?
At least 2. But we get this. Let's get this guy in here.
So you just get a regular Ziploc bag.
Gallon size.
Gallon size. Okay.
Okay. All right.
And that can hold 1 chicken.
Yeah. So we've got the 1 chicken in there. All right. Now let me just do a quick rinse here.
Yeah. Fresh chickens can be a little messy.
Well, they can, and I rinsed the chicken when I took the chicken out of the
packaging.
Package. I rinsed all the, as much of the juice.
I was going to ask you about that. So you do recommend rinsing them just to get off any excess.
So now, in addition to the salt and pepper, which is key, we're going to add to each one a bay leaf, that in there, and I've got a half a teaspoon of poultry seasoning. All right?
All right.
So you can use poultry seasoning, or you can just use sage if you like. I love sage.
Or rosemary.
And then we've got a tablespoon, or rosemary would be excellent, Ralph. I got a tablespoon of honey.
Honey?
Yeah.
Wow.
And that is just going to give it a nice, it won't be sweet per se, but it's going to be just enough
to perk up the other flavors, I would imagine.
Exactly.
Like when you put salt in sweet things, you put a little sweet in this savory thing.
So we're going to put a little bit of honey in here. It
enhances it, yeah.
And I want to put that in there. Then the main
star of the show
here, buttermilk. So for each chicken, we want 2 cups of buttermilk, okay? So that's going to be half of this. So I'm gonna put in 2 cups. I'm just
Eyeballing it.
kind of eyeballing it here to get. That's good, I think. And then we're gonna seal. And make sure your seal's all sealed. And then we're
Moosh it around.
Yeah, because you want to distribute the poultry seasoning and the honey. And by the way, I'm going to put both of these chickens, even though they're marinating, I'm going to put them on a 13 by 9 baking sheet. I don't know if I have one here. Yes, I do.
That's just to be safe.
This is the insurance policy in case the bag leaks out. Okay, you're not going to have a mess in your fridge. So I'm going to do the same for this chicken as I did for that one, and then I'm going to put it in the fridge. It's going to sit overnight. You want it at least 8 to 12 hours, okay? If not longer. You could let it go for almost up to 2 days, okay? No more than that. That would be the max.
Like if you started it and you got sidetracked.
Yeah, and life happens, right? And you change plans.
But at least 8 hours, if not more.
Right, 8 hours. So at least overnight at minimum. But so we're gonna come. This is gonna be dinner for tomorrow night.
Got it.
Will be our buttermilk roasted chicken. And like I said, looking forward to it.
See you tomorrow.
Well, Ralph, it has been 24 hours. A little more, actually. But that's okay. Since we buttermilked our chicken up. And
is that a verb? We buttermilked
it. Is around here.
You can milk a cow, but can you buttermilk a chicken?
Well, we did. We actually buttermilked 2 chickens.
Oh, no wonder you're groaning and grunting. It's 2 big
chickens.
Whole chickens.
Are. So these beautiful birds have been hanging out in the fridge. Marinating in our buttermilk mixture. Buttermilk, salt, pepper, poultry seasoning.
Honey.
A bay leaf, okay. And now it's come time to do the roasting. So we're doing 2 chickens, and whether you're doing 2 or 1, you want to do it this way, I found to be best.
And the written recipe is going to be for 1.
Yes. So here's just a regular sheet pan. And Ralph, I put a rack on the top. This is one of my cooling racks for when I bake. But it's going to do double duty here and serve as a rack. I put some tin foil on the bottom, chickens on top. They'll drip down. Okay, that way as they roast, they're not kind of sitting in the fat and everything else. That'll all go down.
Right, drains down.
Drains down.
Because I've seen people make these where they put it in a cast iron skillet or something, and it just seems like that's not the best way to get.
Well, there's a lot of different methods for everything. So we're going to take out the first bird. One's a little bigger than the other. We'll see. These are like 4-pounders.
Bird is the word.
I got a bowl here because it's going to be a little. But look at that, huh?
Wow, it looks super wet.
The buttermilk, you can smell the buttermilk. I'm going to put that on the rack this way. Let me get the other bird out. Now, the buttermilk, again, it's like, well, why go through all this? Well, there's a little science going on here in that the buttermilk, the acid in the buttermilk, helps to tenderize the bird and will also help to moisten the chicken.
And then the seasonings, of course, flavor it because you marinated it. Does the buttermilk also flavor it? Give it a little
tang.
Tang, okay.
And of course, that little tang is the acid. Now, here we go. I think I got you upside down, Missy. All right, there. Now, what I am going to do, though, is you see how it just sort of
flops.
We're going to tie the the legs together so they don't get too dried out. Let me get. I think washing my hands is a little futile here because I'm going to keep getting messy, but that's okay. So
better safe than sorry. Wash those mitts.
We got our friend the owl here, who's going to help with string dispensing. And
this is to tie the legs together of the chicken?
Tie the legs together. So, you're going to kind of grab them here, and we will first, I tie a knot around the one, like so.
I imagine this helps to ensure that the birds are cooked more evenly and consistently as opposed to just when they're flopping around.
Yes, and what we're going to also do, Ralph, is we're going to put the birds in with the legs to the back
of the oven.
Okay. I've heard different theories on this, that the back is hotter than the front, and so what happens is you don't want to dry the breasts out, the white meat. You don't want to dry that out.
Oh, and that's
the dark meat, which is here, the thigh and the leg, those take
a little
longer to cook.
Oh, okay.
So if you put the back in, we're going to start that way and see. I'll check it after maybe about a half an hour.
But that makes sense. So the meat at the front of the chicken is the breast or the white meat, so that cooks or takes less heat?
That should have less intense heat.
You don't want it to
dry out. So the oven is preheated to 400 degrees. All right. And we're going to roast it at 400 degrees for about 40 minutes. And then I'm going to check it, and then I'm going to turn the temperature down.
Okay. And so when you check it, are you going to rotate or move the birds?
We'll see we'll see how it's browning up. Okay. There's our birds. So I'm not so worried about the wings. Some people tuck those in and under, like so. You could do that if you wanted to.
I don't think they're behaving because they're so moisturized with the buttermilk.
The chicken's already being tender.
Yeah, they're just doing it.
We don't even have it in the oven yet. All right.
Those wings are doing their own thing.
We're going to go leg side in. I got the oven preheated.
Ain't no thing but a chicken wing.
That's it. Okay, in you go. All right.
I guess you have to have a pretty big oven for that, although this is the 30-inch Westing or Frigidaire. Which the other one was larger, but this still fits.
Yeah, the other one was larger, but the oven was narrower. This has got a wider oven.
I see.
So 400 degrees, let's call it 40 minutes, and we'll see how our birds are doing. We're making buttermilk roast chicken.
Well, I hear that timer going off.
So, Ralph, it's been like, 40 minutes. Check it out. Now look how beautifully those legs, which we had in the back, are browning.
Right.
We're going to do the old switcheroo.
Little flipperoonie.
And now we're going to put that in. So I let that go 45 minutes. I'm going to take the temperature down from 400 to about 325. And we're going to let it go another 20-25 minutes.
Okay, so you reduce the heat, you move the chickens around, and ensure that they're thoroughly cooked.
The breasts are in the back, the legs are in the front, and reduce the heat on the oven a little bit, down to 325. We'll give it another 25 minutes. See how our roasted buttermilk chickens are doing. All right, well, you know what? We ended up keeping ours in a little bit longer than the extra 25 minutes. I think, Ralph, because we had two big birds instead of one, required a little extra time.
Yes.
And I did take a look, and the juices are running clear. And look at that.
And it smells so good in here.
Wow. Okay.
They almost
now,
look barbecued.
Yeah, they do. It's just, you've got a nice crispy skin. The little tips of the wings, which really don't have any meat on them, those are but look at that.
Yeah.
Isn't that beautiful?
Beautiful.
Now what we're going to do is I'm going to cover these with some foil, and we're going to let these just rest for about even 10 to 15 minutes before we carve them. They're hot, and they would be too hot to cut anyways, but that will allow some of the juices to redistribute, and we're just going to let them hang out right there, and we'll come back, and we're finally going to have our buttermilk roasted chicken. All right.
Chicken time.
Let's start with one of these chickens, Ralph. So, now, a master carver I'm not, but we're going to try, okay? So,
start by freeing its little legs.
Right. We'll start by cutting through the leg here.
String.
And I might even want to get a little more substantial knife. Now, see how loose this look at this leg.
Oh, that's a good sign.
That's a sign that the chicken is cooked, in addition to the clear juices. So what I'm going to do is we're going to cut through the leg, and I just sort of follow I let the knife figure out the breaking point, and then I kind of cut it like so. There we go. That's our drumstick and thigh on that side. And then we're going to do the same over here. We're just going to cut that out. And we cut this little piece off here.
You show Chicken Little who's boss.
That's right.
Okay.
It's hot. Okay. So here's our wing. A little wingding here.
Little charred wing. It's it has been resting, like you said, for about 15 minutes, but it's still obviously pretty hot.
It's still hot. Now we're going to come down the center of the breast. You've got the backbone.
Look how moist that
the
looks.
Ribs. Look at that. Oh my goodness gracious. So I'm just going to look at that. We're just going to plate that up there, and then I'm going to cut. This is sort of the backbone part that it would be good for making soup stock and things like that, but we're not going to eat that. We're just going to eat that. Look at that. Okay? Now, before I get too far, so that we can see, I'll tell you what, this is one moist chicken. Look at the juice.
Oh my goodness, you can tell just
Isn't
by
it beautiful?
Look at the cutting board. There's all that juice that flows off.
And what I want to do is I'm going to get into this thigh right here, which is what we love. Wow. Chicken. Like just that chickeny chicken flavor.
Wow. Tender
and tender. Really tender.
And tasty.
Really good.
Tender, tasty.
So tasty. Oh my gosh. Nice.
So a little more time than you might have thought, but still worth it.
We had two kind of big
birds.
I mean, look at the size of these.
I know. We didn't kind of take all that into account.
I know.
But worth it.
But worth it. Really yummy. Delicious. Moist. So, you just... roast chicken is one of those most comfort, feel-good meals. And we got some couscous, and I've roasted some summer squash, and we made some dinner rolls, and you know what? That's what we're having on this Sunday supper. And we are so glad you could be a part of it with us. And hope you had fun being here. We had fun making this buttermilk roasted chicken. And you know what? We'll see you again real soon. Be well, everybody. Stay strong.
Thanks for being with us.
Bye.
Bye now.